Hey, Dr. Clark here with another financial mathematics video. This one we're covering section 1.2, changing the compounding period, nominal versus effective interest. Let's get started. So the main ideas in this section are what is the compounding period, what's the difference between nominal and effective interest, and then what is APY. So first, the compounding period is the period of time over which the savings institution pays interest. So this compounding period could be yearly, could be monthly, could be daily, but the idea is you have a balance. After one compounding period, they would pay out interest. That interest would then be deposited into the account, and then for the next pay period, you would have a bigger balance, and so you get more interest. So we're assuming compound interest, and the compounding period is just that length of time you wait before the interest is deposited. Now, nominal versus effective interest rates. We talked about effective interest rates in section 1. The effective rate of interest denoted by I, when multiplied by the beginning balance, yields the dollar amount of the interest earned at the end of the period. So the effective rate of interest is, how much interest do you get? Well, you take the effective rate and you multiply by the balance, right? That's the idea. So a nominal rate is really something else. And in this case, a nominal rate is connected with the APR, as it's often used in banking. So the nominal rate of interest with monthly compounding, that's what APR is. So it assumes monthly compounding. That's denoted I with a little 12 in parentheses in the superscript. So it's not an exponent, but it's a notation in this case. It's the interest rate such that I super 12 divided by 12 would be the monthly effective interest rate. So if the nominal interest rate was, say, 0.12, then the monthly effective interest rate would be 0.01, because you take 0.12 divided by 12, you get 0.01. That's the idea. And then APY, finally, that is the annual effective interest rate that would result from a particular APR. So let's say you had an APR of 0.12, then you would have monthly interest of 0.01, but then you would compound that interest 12 times. And so what would happen is the annual effective rate would be more than 0.12, it turns out. You can do the math on it. Is basically if I super 12 is the APR, you divide that by 12, that would give you the monthly interest, add 1 and raise it to the 12th power. That would tell you how much interest you would get from compounding it. And then, of course, by subtracting 1, you just get the interest rate back. And we can take a look at that in action in this little Excel file that I cooked up here. So let's say you've got a principal of $1,000 and a nominal rate of 0.04. So this would be your APR, basically, if it was monthly, but just the nominal rate of 0.04. Well, if you did annual compounding, then your annual effective rate would be the same, 0.04, because you only compounded it one time. So after 1 year, you have $1,040 because it's 4% interest on $1,000. But if you compound it semi-annually, so twice a year, then after 6 months, you get $20 in interest, and then after another 6 months you get $20.40 because you're getting interest on the interest. That 40 cents is 4% of $20. So then you end up with more than if you had just compounded it once, and so your annual effective rate, this would be your APY 0.0404, is bigger than the nominal rate. If you do it quarterly, then you get interest after 1 period, 2 periods, 3 periods, 4 periods, and you end up with more money than if you had compounded it semi-annually. You could do it monthly, and then you get the annual effective rate is 0.0407, and then you could do it daily, and I kind of trimmed off some lines in the code here, but essentially you get $1,040.80, so your annual effective rate would be 0.0408. So the more times you compound it, the more interest you end up getting, which makes sense because you get more interest on the interest. That's for the same nominal rate of 0.04, and then of course you would cut that into, for the quarterly, then you get essentially 1% and then 1% and then 1% and then 1%. So you're getting 1% quarterly effective interest. That turns into 4.06% annual effective interest from a nominal interest rate of 0.04. So it takes a while to get used to these words, nominal versus effective. The main thing you want to keep in mind is your effective interest rate is what you end up actually using. So that's the main one to keep in mind. When we say effective interest, that's what you actually use to compute the interest. You take the interest rate, add 1, multiply by the principal, and now you've got your new balance. All right. Hopefully that gives you an overview, and we'll see you later, and we'll be ready to do the exploration.